Howard Pyle's Attack on a Galleon. So, first of all, who was Howard Pyle? Howard Pyle was an American illustrator and writer that lived from 1853 to 1911. The modern image of pirate costume consisting of fancy hats, billowing silk shirts, tall boots, and long flowing hair come from his romanticized illustrations of pirates. In truth, pirates wore what any other sailors did, often literally when they stole clothing from the ships they took. And the fancy clothes they did occasionally wear followed the fashion conventions of the time, and were only worn during special occasions like spending time on shore. One of his most well-known artworks is Attack on a Galleon, which depicts a group of pirates in the process of boarding a Spanish galleon, presumably laden with treasure. Pyle's work is interesting because the colors, the composition, and even the actual subject all come together to depict a fantasy of pirate life. His use of light and dark especially makes it clear that this is a group of people living on the margins of society, dreaming about the unattainable goal of wealth beyond their imaginations. The pirates are almost entirely in shadow, while the ship is alight with a fire on the deck, and the image of Mary and the Christ child looms over the pirates. There are religious implications about how piracy went against God, but also how it went against civilization itself, and how the people that participated in it are stripped down to an animalistic, godless existence. The pirates here aren't individuals, unlike in some of Pyle's illustrations, yet everything about the painting is more vivid than the reality of piracy in the Age of Sail, which the painting is romanticizing quite a bit. The truth is that most pirates didn't usually go after treasure galleons. At the time, those treasure galleons were being commanded by the Spanish crown, which, due to looting everything they could from indigenous people in the Americas, was a global superpower, and their ships were heavily armed, could support crews of several hundred sailors, and often traveled in fleets. The only pirates attacking these galleons were British privateers, which also traveled in heavily armed fleets, with crews well into the thousands. Your average pirate crew, on the other hand, traveled in smaller crews of about 40 men, and typically went after merchant ships carrying tradable goods, such as tobacco, coal, lumber, china, silk, slaves, if they had a ship with a big enough hold, not ships that were actually carrying what we think of as treasure. So why did Pyle paint such a romanticized view of pirates? Pyle was an illustrator and writer whose works were typically aimed at children, and besides that, by the time he painted this, pirates had long since been romanticized in literary works such as That General History of the Pirates by Daniel Defoe. The pirate image had shifted from one of terrifying murdering thieves to one of people scorned by society who took to piracy as a means to survive by their own rules, an overgeneralization that isn't entirely inaccurate, as escaped slaves and sometimes even women made their way onto crews, but definitely not the whole picture.